I got letters each year saying that you were obese. And I'm like, my daughter does gymnastics.
Stop freaking lying. I hate. Ugh. Oh, I want to slap that bitch. How are you?
I'm good. Rock starring again.
Another rock star.
'Cause I'm a rock star. I'm a rock star. Not really,
You
but
don't have to ever do that again. I'm on my second cup of Joe for the day. Joe number 2. Thank you,
oh
Mr.
my
Joe.
gosh, you're gonna be so like hype.
Okay, this is only 1 espresso worth. Do you see how like little this is like an espresso and then I topped it off with my milk? My milk.
So I had a former work friend.
Okay, we're jumping into it. Go
No,
ahead.
I was just gonna talk about it. Has to do with your coffee.
Oh, so interesting.
So at one of my jobs, every Friday, this work friend during stand-up would share his drink of the week for the weekend to get us through the weekend. And I thought I told everybody that I do not like coffee. But today we no longer work together, but we're still, texting back and
So
forth.
pause. Guys, if you don't know, my mom hates and despises coffee, no matter what shape or form. No matter if it's just the tiniest bit of coffee taste. Absolutely not.
Tiramisu, not for
But the
me.
smell of coffee, for you. But for some reason, the taste.
I want to own my own coffee shop. Like that, if I could do anything, I would own my own coffee shop. And the bonus is I would not drink my profits away because I don't like coffee. But I want to work in an environment that smells like coffee and smells like books and smells like, I
Did
don't
you
know,
say smells like books?
smells like books. I want a coffee shop where people go to read and chat, not sit on their
well,
computers where
yes.
they're just, yeah, that's my dream. Anyways,
Anyway, sorry.
so this former coworker, we were chatting today, and I said, I really need a drink for the weekend, a drink recipe. And he's like, gotcha. And he sends me this link, and I'm like, it's got espresso in it. Like,
Is it just an espresso martini? Because I don't know of any other coffee drink like.
no, it's, what did he call it? Hold on a minute. So, talk amongst yourselves. I'll give you a time.
Me and myself.
Emma,
Just talk to
just
Just talk to yourself.
talk to yourself.
How am I doing? I'm doing so good. Thank you so much for asking.
You doing good? You doing good?
Wow, you look so good. Oh my god. You're making me blush.
So I found the drink. It's a shaken carhilo. So you make espresso and then whatever liqueur 43 is, a Spanish liqueur. You fill it with ice cubes and hot espresso and this liqueur. And then you shake it up and you pour it in a nice little, it almost looks like a brandy glass. So you're pouring it into
So it's just that, ice and espresso?
ice, espresso, and liqueur. So thank you, my friend from my former job, for this, but I will not be drinking it this weekend. So I'm probably going to do some whiskey shots since there's some left on the park cart. So we're going to go in with that. I have a little bit of Crown Royal left.
Shots.
So, yeah, but see, that fit right in. Coffee. Ew. Oh, am I recording?
Mom.
I am. I'm just joking. Recording. Can we call it the pod? Because, I like to shorten things like pod. It's like ChatGPT is my Chad.
He is your Chad. See, we could, but on Love is Blind, they call the things that they're in the pods.
They don't get to own that name.
They get to gatekeep
No,
it.
they don't. No, sorry. I don't think
You don't think so?
I don't agree with you on that one. No, that's...
I just don't want people to get confused.
Like, I don't watch Love is Blind. I mean, I tried to, but I was like, this is so... no.
No, some of them are like crazy.
It's just cringe.
I'm like, when are they gonna have a really like short, teeny man on there that's bald and like all the women are always like really pretty and the men are good looking, but a lot of them are so freaking average. And then they have the audacity to be like, oh, I don't really care what she looks like, but if there's no physical attraction there, then I just don't know what else I can do. And then they just, when they see them face to face and then they're just not into it. Mm-hmm. There was this one, because this kind of goes with like the theme of what we're going to talk about today. On season 5, I think, of Love is Blind. I think that was not this past one, but the one that just happened a couple months ago. There was this girl who was wearing a normal amount of makeup, maybe a little bit more than like the average person, but she looked gorgeous. She's like the sweetest, cutest little person ever, with like, she had a beautiful face and makeup on, her hair was all done, and so she obviously wanted to look good for the first time they open the
And then
doors
you
and they see each other. Yeah. And so this guy was like this most average looking Joe ever, and when they meet each other, he's so freaking awkward. And, you know, when they're in the pods, you gotta talk. There's nothing else you can do other than talk. So he was talking a lot, but then when they saw each other face to face, he just shuts down for the next couple weeks when they were like, you know, living together on their little like vacation and trial marriage or whatever they do. I guess it's not a trial marriage. That's another show. It's just like they're living together in an apartment. Anyway, he just would never be the one to make conversation. He would always have like really short answers like, oh, how are you doing, sweetie? Good. Like stuff like that. It was like pulling teeth trying to get him to talk. And then you find out that the reason why he shut down and he wasn't talking is because his excuse was the first time that he saw her, it was not what he imagined because she had so much makeup on and it seemed fake. And I was like, oh, what? You want her to look like she just rolled out of bed?
Wow.
Like in her pajamas? What do you, like, you're on a freaking TV show, first of all. So, of course, if I were on the TV show, I'd be wearing as much makeup as I could put on my face because millions of people are going to watch you, let alone, like, she doesn't put makeup on for men.
No.
Most women, if not all, put it on for themselves just to make themselves feel good.
No, but you know,
It just really irked me. Ugh.
most of those people come from central casting anyways. It's like, hey, you want to be in a reality show? Yeah, sure, I'll be on a reality show. And, you know, they go in there and they do it and get paid their paycheck and then go on to the next gig.
Although there are couples that made it out of there, still married. One of them is finally having a kid.
Really?
Like, there are a lot of success stories.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's this one, there was like this woman, she's a little bit more plus size. She's like such a vibe. Like, I really liked her on her season. And then she met this guy who's like this like country, tall, skinny guy. And they're just so cute together. Like, you wouldn't put them together because she's a very like diva personality. And he's just this like countryman. But they're like really happily married. It's very cute.
If you hadn't met Evan, would you have done something like that if you had the opportunity?
If I hadn't?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
You would?
Okay. I don't know if I would have done Love is Blind because that is just, I mean, The Bachelor's one thing, but Love is Blind is like, you don't, it's not about not seeing the person. It's just so fast that it's like a couple of weeks from dating into being engaged all of a sudden. And that's like really overwhelming. Like, I want to have a wedding where my friends and family are involved. And some people do, so they have the wedding, and some people do end up having a separate wedding after the wedding on the show. But I'd probably go on The Bachelor.
But then you're
100%.
Then you're competing against a bunch of women.
No, but it would be so fun.
You think so?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I'm not one to be like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna do that to get famous, but I think it would be a really cool opportunity, I don't know, to go on a show like that.
I've never seen a plus size person on The Bachelor.
I haven't even seen someone that has like really any fat on them at all.
I've never seen anybody with a disability on The Bachelor.
Yeah.
So does The Bachelor get to pick through like 200 people and say, okay, you get to pick your top 50, and from those, then we will pick the girls that are going to be on the show?
I don't think so. I honestly don't think that they even know what they're, because their producers have so much control of like basically who ends up with the Bachelor or Bachelorette that I don't think that they even get to choose like who, like they don't see who is casted beforehand. I honestly believe that. Just based off of like watching this show so many times, and like there's no way they could fake just meeting people or seeing them for like the first time with, I don't know. You know, like you have to sign up to be on like Survivor. Same thing, you have to sign up to be on, I don't know, I use that as an example, but you watch Survivor. You got to sign up to be on The Bachelor. We do. So when you sign up to be on The Bachelor, Bachelorette, whatever, you have to fill out this insane questionnaire. I was watching a video of somebody talk about it. It's like hundreds and hundreds of questions. And then that's only like round one. And then you have to like answer a whole bunch of other questions. Like it's a really tedious process to even, not even to get on the show, but like be considered to getting on the show. It's just like
a lot of personal stuff too. Maybe things that they can manipulate and use against you.
Right.
Wow.
There's stuff that I think you can even write that you don't want this mentioned or whatever. And they will still somehow try to bring it up. to cause
Like
drama.
when people have kids they don't want to talk about, or they've been married before, or that sort of thing. And they're going to bring it up.
Yeah. Well, even like trauma of just like past relationships and stuff that has happened in their life too. Because a lot of people that do have kids like want to talk about it, but it's not something that they want to bring up the first time, they're talking.
Hmm.
Like if I were a mother, I'd want you to get to know me first. And then as our relationship progresses, maybe in the next like couple dates, then I'd like mention my kid. But that's not something that if you don't want to, you don't have to lead with that.
No.
Obviously, you should let them know
Right.
like very soon, but you don't have to let them know like first time you meet them kind of thing.
Yeah, you need to control the narrative, but if they're going to use it against you as a reason to start some catfighting or some drama,
Right.
you don't have that protection.
Ooh. I just knew how to tie what I was trying to say. All right. So I saw this video of somebody talking about what the Bachelor slash Bachelorette looked like in the early 2000s when it first started and what the cast of it looks like now. And in the beginning, everybody looked like maybe like me, where I'm like very average looking, someone that doesn't have plastic surgery. But now everybody, they almost look all the same. Even people that have like darker skin, like they still have the same features. And if you're going to be on TV, I understand wanting to look good, but it's the fact that everybody now just is looking the same.
Do you think that the rise of the Kardashians and how they use cosmetic surgery is almost like a drug for them, that has driven more and more people to go that route?
Of
It's the
course.
Kardashian effect. Get the big butts, get the
Oh,
big
yeah.
boobs, get the sucked in faces. I don't know, lipo, the lifts, the nose jobs.
Like 5, 10 years ago when they allegedly got a BBL.
Hmm.
Like it was Kim, and then I think Chloe got one, Kylie got one. I don't know if Courtney did. She seems more natural than the rest of them.
Hmm.
I don't know why, but just on like my perspective. But they just deny, deny, deny. And I understand like you don't have to say that you got work done, but if somebody asks, don't flat out lie, because then people are like, "Oh, I can achieve that naturally." No, the fuck you can't. Sorry, but no, you can't. You can't have a tiny waist like this and your ass be like
No.
2 freaking watermelons. Like they're a huge influence. I mean, I'm influenced by them. I love their show. I mean, they're just so addicting to watch. But I think that I don't know how to word this without sounding mean, because I do love the Kardashians and Jenners, but they just have such an influence on society that they're not using it well, especially with 10 years ago, 5 years ago, it was having big butts, big boobs. Now it's, oh, let me like reduce my BBL a little bit and then also get some lipo and then put me on Ozempic. So now everybody is just so freaking thin. And then they started doing it, and now every celebrity under the sun is doing it. And it's so freaking obvious because you can tell, even the skinny celebrities, you can tell that they're on Ozempic
Hmm.
because they've lost like 10 pounds. Like 20 years goes by, they look the same, and then all of a sudden, oh no, I decided that I'm running 20 miles a week, and that's how I lost the weight. Bitch, no, you're not. Who has that time? You are not an athlete. You're an actor. You do not have time to like, I don't know, work out all the time and eat nothing. Like you're definitely on Ozempic. Stop freaking lying. I hate. Ugh.
Well, the one person
Sorry, I'm just going on a tangent, but.
the one person that did not lie is Kelly Osbourne. She was so offensive on her
Mm-hmm.
Ozempic use. I'm going to paraphrase it,
Oh, I want to slap that bitch.
but she was basically saying the people that are calling out Ozempic are the ones that can't afford it because they're too poor. They're too poor, but I'm not poor, so I can go on Ozempic and, sucking my cheeks. And
I understand. Like what you're saying is not true. Like obviously you have to have money to go on Ozempic because clearly people that need it, that have type 2 diabetes or just need to lose actual weight,
Mhm.
they can't
No.
access it because all these freaking rich people are taking advantage of their
Mhm.
money and their power and stealing the drug from everybody else that actually needs it.
There's shortages, I heard, like pharmacies, it takes months. Even if you get a prescription, it takes months for you to actually get the drug in your local pharmacy, because you're not Hollywood. You
Wow.
can't just rush order something. You can't go to your doctor and say, "Hey, listen, I know it's only $1,000 a month. Let's get this going. I'll, go on
Right.
Ozempic or Wegovy or what is it, Manjaro or, there's a few little semaglutides. I think that's what it's called. For me, it's offensive as somebody who is of a larger size to see that and have people lie about that.
Yeah.
I did see Josh from Drake and Josh. He did a TikTok. Did you see that
Yeah.
TikTok? I was dying. He's like, "You mean I could have
You
just."
could. You should still explain it.
So,
Yeah.
and Josh, what's his last name again? Josh.
Josh Peck.
Josh Peck. So Josh Peck, I loved him when you guys used to watch Drake and Josh.
Oh, what an amazing show.
He was chubby. He was about 100 pounds more than he is now. But he worked
Hmm.
really hard to lose weight, and all of a sudden it was like, "What happened this summer that you lost 100 pounds?" And he literally dieted and exercised, and he looked better than Drake. Fun
Period.
fact, I did see Drake, at the mall, Fashion Island, when I was living in Irvine.
No
Yeah,
freaking
he was with his
way.
girlfriend. I didn't like, "Oh my god," because, I'm, like, 50. I don't need to, like, fangirl over some guy who's in his
Imagine.
but I was like, "Oh, that is him." Anyways, but Josh Peck does his TikTok, and he definitely takes care of himself now, and I really like him.
Oh
He's
yeah.
got, I'm not gonna promote his podcast, but I will say he does have a podcast, and it's pretty funny.
I love Josh.
He did a TikTok and, it was one of these things like, "You mean I didn't have to work that hard to lose 100 pounds because Ozempic," And I'm like, "Yeah, see?"
Yeah.
But it's frustrating for people that are plus size that are not of those means
Hmm.
that can go in there and just tell their doctor, "Prescribe this for me. I'm gonna pay for it." And if there's no risk and it's not being used in the way that the FDA has prescribed it to be used, which is the prescription for Ozempic from a doctor is for maintenance and for those people that have type 2 diabetes. But the way that the doctors online and these celebrity doctors are prescribing it is that it's a weight loss drug, but it's not approved by the FDA as a weight loss drug. So they can't prescribe it to a celebrity for type 2 diabetes unless they go through that whole, rigmarole. So, they're skirting the system. And then Kelly Osbourne is just bragging about it and slamming, these people that can't afford it,
Hmm.
down to the ground because she thinks she's that much better than everybody else. But I'm sorry, Kelly Osbourne. You got famous because of your dad and because of your mom, and they put you on a reality show. That was the only reason we knew who Kelly Osbourne was. And you took that type of celebrity, that reality TV celebrity, and the people that watched that show, and you completely dishonored them with what you said. And I think it's wrong, it's inappropriate, and you should apologize. There we go. Off my soapbox.
Points made.
Yeah, and let's admit to the buccal fat removal too, because you look like you're, you know,
Nobody looks better that way. I'm so sorry. But I was going to say, how on earth is it legal for these celebrities and other people that can afford it to abuse a drug like Ozempic? How the hell is that illegal or legal? I
it's
just,
unscrupulous behavior by their doctors in partnership with these celebrities who do this. It's
so
literally
freaking
unscrupulous.
annoying.
You look at the people like Mindy Kaling, I think she might be considered plus size. She was maybe what, a size 12,
Yeah,
right?
she
And
was
now
like, yeah.
she was like just a normal person, but no, she has to be thin. How did she do this? Oh, 20 miles I ran every week. No, you did not. We know you did not. Did you ever run before that? No. Are you still running? No. We know that you lost weight in that short little time with Ozempic.
It's always in that short time
Hmm.
too. Like they just drop it like so
Before
fast.
award shows and everything, and everybody shows up looking like skeletons.
That's like do you know who Remy Bader is?
Mm-mm.
I think that's how you say her name. She's pretty famous on TikTok. I think she does other things now, but she's a plus size fashion person, and you've probably seen her cuz she'll be like back again with another Revolve haul, and then she'll like put on the stuff that she's got. I don't know, she does a lot of hauls and they're really funny.
Hmm.
Anyway, so she went on Ozempic cuz I don't want to speak for her, but like I think that she might be at risk of having diabetes, had diabetes. I'm not really sure.
Okay. Yeah.
So don't quote me on that, but one of her quotes to a magazine talking about Ozempic, she says, "They said I need this, and I had a lot of mixed feelings. A few months later, I went off of it and got into the bad binging. It was making me think I wasn't hungry for so long, so I lost some weight. I didn't want to be obsessed with being on it long term. I was like, I bet the second I go off of it, I'm going to be starving again. And I did, and my binging got so much worse, and she gained twice the amount that she lost."
Wow.
And a lot of people say, oh, there's like no side effects to Ozempic. And then we'll stop talking about
Hmm.
Ozempic. I know it's like talked about a lot. But so many people experience like nausea. And like, how are all these people on Ozempic and they're nauseous probably all the time? Like, how are you living your life like that? That is not a way to live.
Because they're in the industry.
There was this is a good one, really quick. Do you know who Chelsea Handler
Hmm.
is?
Yep.
The comedian. So she went on Ozempic, but she didn't even know she was on it. She said, so my anti-aging doctor just hands it out to anybody. LOL. I didn't even know I was on it. She said, if you ever want to drop 5 pounds, this is good. She also said that everyone is on the drug. Basically, she's in the industry.
Hmm.
She probably knows a lot of inside information. And she said it's going to backfire. Something bad is going to happen. Then she said that she's not on it anymore because it like wasn't making her feel good. And also, like, she went on it not even knowing what it was. Like, isn't that crazy? Her doctor just was like, want to lose weight? I'd be like, sure. Like, want to lose 5 pounds?
Stab yourself with this pen once a week. And
I know. With this, like, weird mystery
it's gonna
liquid.
make you puke or feel like puking, but you know what? You're gonna lose weight. You're gonna lose weight and it'll be fine. The celebrities and even people in reality TV, they set the standards for everybody. Because they're the ones
Mm-hmm.
this is what we're seeing on TV. It's frustrating because real people can't aspire to that unless all they do is they become a gym rat or they don't eat anything or they're an almond mom. I had a friend that counted 10 almonds. I want 10 almonds. Can you put them in my bag so I have a snack at work? And I'm like, dude, just bring the whole bag of almonds and you don't have to, like,
Unless you're a bodybuilder and that is your job, that's a
yeah,
different thing. But if you're,
to be, yeah. And I went to college with somebody who was a bodybuilder and she would binge and then she'd cut, and then she'd dehydrate so that she looked cut that was her thing when she would go on stage and stuff, but
that's their sport
we can't ever reach that, that kind of level. Yeah.
naturally.
And it's one of the other things that came out, and this is in kind of the corporate world industry, is the 5 a.m. club, which is like get up at 5 a.m., get your vitamins in, and then go work out for an hour and a half, and then take a shower, and then start your day. And I'm like, I'm working till like 7, 8, 9 at night, and then, trying to spend time with my husband, and then getting up early. When am I going to have time to go work out? I'm sitting at my desk, I'm in
Mm-hmm.
meetings all day. The real world doesn't happen that way. And if you're not in the industry, you'll never be able to achieve that level of success. Like I look at you, like you freelance, so you can throw in your workouts now. Myself, now I should be doing that. We'll get there.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that, if you're working a 9 to 5 job or you work third shift or something, you're not going to have that opportunity to work out as much as somebody else in the industry who's setting up these false premises, these false expectations that they may look fit, but they're being like cut and manipulated and drugged and sucked and all that stuff
Mm-hmm.
to look the way they think the ideal body looks. Can we go back to the Rubenesque period, please?
What's the Rubenesque period?
Yeah, so Rubenesque are full-figured women.
Okay, I was trying to find a photo of what the Rubenesque period was like, and all of them are little nudie pictures, and I don't feel comfortable putting that up to show you. Obviously, audio listeners, you're just gonna have to use your imagination, or I'm sure most people know what the Rubenesque period was, and I'm just fucking idiot. But yeah, you're just gonna have to do that Google search yourself. And beware because most of the people are not clothed. Okay, so anyway.
The paintings were done where women were plus size. Now, obviously, in that day and age, people that were more plus size, had more food or maybe a more leisurely lifestyle, so they were
Mm-hmm.
wealthier. But I'm like, can we go back to the Rubenesque period?
If everybody just stops taking Ozempic and stops dieting, then we won't be like having this pressure to be stick thin. Can we just agree?
Mm-hmm.
Can we just stop being trying to be skinny? Unless you're naturally skinny, then that's
Mm-hmm.
fine. I'm not bashing being skinny, but it's like the toxic, unhealthy culture that comes along with it.
No,
Like
absolutely.
forcing yourself to.
I think too is the evolution of fast food and the fast food industry, where there's a fast food restaurant, like 2 or 3 on every single corner, has caused the demise of people's health as well because it's cheap and easy. So we're working long hours and we do these
Mm-hmm.
cheap, quick meals because we're not getting paid enough. And that's the easiest thing, is to get like a McDonald's cheeseburger and some small fries and a soda and bring that home, and you feel satiated at least, for an hour or two, and then you're snacking on a bag of chips because that's cheap as well, and you're not eating healthy. It's expensive to
Right.
eat healthy. It's expensive to
Why? Like, why is it so expensive to literally eat like veggies? Like, going to any grocery store and getting like actual fresh
Mhm.
food is so much more expensive.
Yeah, it is, and it doesn't make sense, but it's because, I mean, there's a whole lot of things that go into growing crops, but it has to do too with the
Yeah.
regulations, the type of fertilizer you can use, even the type of employees you can hire, regulations, labor laws, all that stuff falls into this. So we import most of our food in the United States. That's why it's expensive, because we don't have people growing like they used to.
Eating healthy, I feel like, is more of a treat because it's more expensive and it takes time and effort to, make healthy food.
It's tough when it's 2 people as well. Like, I know we've always joked about getting Costco membership and, you know, packaging up our
Mm-hmm.
food. We did that while you guys were growing up. We would prepackage food.
Freaking love
Yeah.
Costco.
But
Oh.
even Costco has a lot of crappy food in it. Gosh, those muffins were good
Oh, but
though.
their
And the
croissants. I was
croissants
gonna
and
think about the
muffins.
muffins too.
And they
I was
used to
like,
have that chocolate
mm.
cake you could get at Costco.
Oh, the chocolate
Yeah,
cake.
your older brother and your dad would love that chocolate cake, and yeah, they don't
It
make
was
it
so
they
rich,
don't
but
make it anymore.
they don't make it anymore.
No, they don't. They don't. They
It's
stopped.
probably like too unhealthy that they're like,
Yeah. It was too
maybe
Yeah, they
not.
stopped, I think, oh gosh, years ago, maybe during COVID or post-COVID. I remember asking about it or looking at why. But yeah,
Rude. At least they sell their muffins and
but you could
croissants.
get some fresh fruit, and we get the meats at
Mm-hmm.
Costco, and we get some cheeses and those type of things that were healthy.
Yeah.
Right now, Dad and I are changing our lifestyle a little bit because I did change, my career, and we're making all our meals now. I don't think we've gone out and gotten anything for like over a month, maybe. But weekends we're always like, oh my gosh, finally, we're both not working. We both have time. We would we get
Mm-hmm.
Chick-fil-A, and then we get pizza on Sundays, and we do all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, that's not healthy because even during the week, it was like, what's quick and easy for us to do because nobody wants to cook. But now it's, I've taken it upon myself to actually make the healthy meals, to go out and get the bulk, chicken and that sort of thing. And
Yeah.
cost efficiency is good when you're buying meat in bulk. But when it comes to the fresh fruits, and I love like strawberries and berries and blueberries and raspberries, those things are expensive now.
Mm-hmm. Even grapes. They're like $10 a bag. I'm like, this is freaking fruit. Might as well just. Do they grow on bushes? Vines? Vines,
Yeah,
grapevines.
big grown vines. Yeah, because you live near
I
wine
did.
country.
Well, also
Yeah.
your parents had they had
Yeah,
grapevines.
but they
Yeah.
were seeded grapes, so it was like you chewed them and gotta spit the little seeds out. It was horrible.
I didn't remember that, but I
Yeah.
believe it.
So, yeah, getting back to that Rubenesque lifestyle. I'm a bit more Rubenesque than I'd like to be. The sedentary lifestyle of my high stress job was not good.
And it's hard to change a lifestyle because that's like what you've been doing for the past however many years since you got your degree.
Mhm.
Because she went back and got her degree.
Mhm.
Like what, in 2014?
2014, when you realized I had to start paying for college education for you guys, I realized I should really go to college because I'm not going to make any money.
Shouldn't have gone to college. I'm just kidding. I'm glad I went to college, but
No, I think it's good that you guys went. I mean, I'm all for
friendships are priceless. That's the main thing that I gained from college.
I'm all for the trade industry too, because I think, your older brother's in the trade industry and I really like that because he can go in and fix our cars. But, seek your dream and if you need to go to college for it, do it. And for me, I had to go to college because what I really wanted to do was not going to pay the bills. So I went back to school, got my degree in 2014 and just I hadn't even graduated yet and started
See, guys,
working.
it's never too late to get your
Nope,
degree.
it isn't.
Even if you're 65.
Even if you're retired, back to school if you want to learn stuff. But yeah, it's one of those things that, I was working nonstop and I had crazy hours. Like there was one job I had to be in the office at 6:30 in the morning or prior to 6:30 in the morning because it was the excavation industry. So there was a lot of, yeah, I know. Sorry, Emma. Sorry,
That was the worst time.
triggered you. She
That's a whole other topic, but we can
But a
touch on
quick
it.
excerpt, she worked in the excavation industry for a summer and made buku bucks. You made some good
I
money,
did at the time.
but it was the only female working in a male-centric industry, basically.
The only female out of 200 employees that were in excavation.
Yeah, the only female working out in the field in excavation. Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy that her mom made her do that. Like, what kind of fool does that? Puts her in that.
Hey, I'm glad that I did it because now I know absolutely what I don't want to do, and every other job is going to be better than that one.
Yeah.
So at least I don't have to go back.
But you got to operate some heavy machinery, so that was kind of cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
A little badass move.
Little badass girl
I hated it.
with a bunch of redneck, excavation
Ugh.
guys.
The things that I would hear, they would like have to stop talking because I was there. Like they would say some very crude things, like on our breaks or whatever. Like when we're eating lunch, they would say a lot of crude things, and they'd be like, "Oh no, we gotta watch what we're saying because Emma's here." And I'm like, first of all, you shouldn't be saying those things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to.
It's very like sexist, but it's fine.
But you know what? Not very many women could hold their own there, and you could. And they spoke actually when they would come back to the office, when the supervisors would come in, or
Yeah.
I'd see some of the crew, they would say some very nice things about you. Like, man, she was like out there working so hard, as hard as the other guys were,
I
I don't know, she did
tried.
good.
So, okay, we can get this out because when I first started, obviously, like you train for your job, so I kind of knew what I was doing, but there's so many things that you have to do in excavation that you're just not going to know how to do it until you're literally doing it. You know what I mean? So there was a couple jobs that we had like almost like a not like a boss, but somebody like a little higher up that would tell us what to do. They'd be the ones like operating like the backhoes, the really huge machines, cranes, whatever. And they'd be like, "Okay, could you like mortar that over there? Like take that over there, like do like heavy lifting for stuff." And the first like couple weeks whenever I would be ordered to do something and I was working with like a couple other people that were on my level, like a couple other guys, they would do it instead for me. And it would drive me up a wall because I was the one that was told to do it and they would just go do it. But it would just make me so angry. And I was like, do you think I'm not strong enough to do it? And then after a couple weeks, I had like a really good like connection with this like, I don't know what they're called. Like
Supervisors, foremen.
Foreman. Yeah. So he would always want to work with me because like we just like worked really well together. And so I'd always be the one he picked because like I would always get the job done and do it as like efficient as possible. And it was nice that finally I started getting my groove and nobody could like tell me what to do or do it for me because, well, obviously they told me what to do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they respected me. And it did suck that I had to wait like a couple months for that to happen. But at the same time, I get it. I'm a girl. I don't really look that strong and capable, but I am.
You are a gymnast, man. You had that work ethic.
I don't know what it was, but I was like working 10, like 11-hour days, like every single day, Monday through Friday. I wouldn't even eat a lot, not because I didn't want to, but because like you ate at like 5:30 a.m. when you woke up and then like lunch at 12:30 and then you went home and had dinner. And I was on my feet for literally like doing a laborious job, wasn't eating a lot. But I swear I like gained weight somehow, which is crazy because like I've never been like on my feet for like 10 hours a day constantly like doing shit. And I'm like, why am I like, I feel like I would be, I don't know, stick thin at this point. 3 months straight, just like working my ass off, but no.
It's because muscle weighs more than fat.
I know, but I looked bulky.
You got muscle. I never thought you looked chunky,
I was a little chunky.
but then again, I don't hold you to those standards.
I know, and I appreciate that because
You're welcome.
you're the best for that.
Well, I know what I grew up with. The every night
Womp womp.
womp womp story time. Yeah. So when I grew up, I was the chubby one in the family. This is great.
Yeah.
I think I've mentioned that before. I'm still the chubby one in the family. I think everybody else is kind of my siblings, but yeah, just so you know. And that I think a lot of it is attributed not just to my upbringing and my ethnicity. When we found my mom's birth parents, we found out they were Alaska Native. And if you go and see the Alaska Native people, the Simpson tribe, that's pretty much my body shape. And I'm like, I found my people. I found my people.
Yeah.
I'm normal. Just put me in the tribe there. I would
Mhm.
fit right in. I mean, literally, I look like they could all be my parents and my siblings.
Mhm.
But I know what I went through with my parents. Weight was a big thing for them. And I would always get the smaller portion of ice cream.
Ugh.
And if I complained about it, my siblings made fun of me, my older sibling especially. When my parents expected me to lose weight, I remember being taken to the bathroom to be weighed every night, and not losing weight and just feeling the shame of this. And, you feel like a failure because you're like, well, I'm eating what everybody else is eating. And, I'm not sitting around munching on chips because we don't have money. So it's like,
Mhm.
for me, it was humiliation within that family sphere. And then, of course, trying
Mm.
to fit in high school was a big thing. Like, my self esteem was pretty much the toilet. It was pretty much the toilet or in the toilet.
Yeah.
My self-esteem was so low that to overcome that is a big thing, but I still it still hits you even when I step on the scale now. I keep thinking, "Wow, yeah, I remember this. I remember crying, and I'm a teenager, and, my parental figure dragging me, pulling me, get on that scale." I remember which bathroom it is and everything.
Ugh.
That's why. Okay, so let's pull back now.
Why does that hit me internally, but it wasn't me? Like you just saying that, it's just, ugh, just makes me so angry.
And it's a shame thing. It's a shame, like, how am I failing my family? How am I failing?
Just
Like,
existing, like,
why are they putting me through this? Just yeah. So I made it a point that my children would never feel like their body shape was how they were gonna get their self-worth. I let you guys grow up as regular kids, and if you look like you guys were little kids that were maybe I don't you weren't chubby, but you weren't like those skinny,
no.
malnourished kids, you know what I mean? You were
Mhm.
healthy looking kids, you were the perfect size, whatever, and you grew into your body shape. You
Mhm.
grew where you were supposed to be. I wasn't gonna manipulate you like I was manipulated. I remember being 8 years old and being on a, powdered diet, like a powdered drink diet.
That's crazy. At 8 years old?
At
That's
8
so
years old.
crazy.
Yep, and it just went from that to the next thing to the next thing, and if you look at pictures of me in high school, I was not that big.
Yeah.
I was not that big, but that
Mhm.
went into my head. It went into I would refuse to have that go into any of my children. Their self-worth would be based on their looks.
And I appreciate that. Because I don't think I've ever felt that way.
Thank you.
Like, at least from you or dad, you've never made me feel that way.
You may have that yourself intrinsically. We
Right.
wanna look good. We wanna look like that person in the magazine or that person in the reality show or the person on TikTok we wanna look good, and it's not just looking good that's important. We need to be
Mhm.
healthy, and some people are healthier at a larger size. So let's
Mhm.
look at, everything else that encompasses your health,
Not just the
not just
weight.
the way your body shape is.
BMI is such a annoying calculation. Like, I don't know why it exists. It pisses me off so much.
I remember when you were in school, I don't know if it was junior high or high school. I think it was junior high, and I got letters each year saying that you were obese. And I'm like, My daughter does gymnastics.
Dude, I remember actually you getting one of the. There was one that I got, and I guess it made it home, but I didn't show you because it said I was like at risk of being obese or obese, and I was like, like what did I do? But
You did the Presidential Fitness Award and you did the men's Presidential Fitness Award. Like you did that
I
test.
had the most push-ups in my class. And not like these wimpy push-ups, but because I was in
Gymnastics.
gymnastics, I could actually do it. But now that I can't, maybe like
But it was fully based on your BMI. It was fully based on
yeah.
one stupid number and it triggered a mailing like that I was at fault because this number was not what it should be for you. And I'm like, are you looking at the same person I'm looking at? Because if she stopped eating, she'd be like malnourished and starving herself. Like then we're talking the whole buccal fat removal phase, you know? But for me, it was important that you guys did not have that experience. So hopefully you guys were okay.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm okay now. I mean, obviously, I have my own personal issues, but it does not stem from you. Anyway, I just think people should just stop commenting on people's bodies. We just need body neutrality. Body positivity is good, but if we can't get there, body neutrality is where we should be.
And
Bodies are bodies, doesn't matter what shape. As long as you feel healthy, that's all that matters.
yeah, and I think because if somebody is overweight, they wear it and it's visible. And being overweight is a disease, you know, being obese is a disease. It's something that some people can't control. Just like being
Mhm.
anorexic, you treat it
Yeah.
as a disease because it's something that you have to work through and it's not a healthy lifestyle. But there are some people that are plus size that are just plus size. They're Rubenesque. You know, let them be Rubenesque. Is their blood sugar fine? Great. Is there, do they have high blood pressure? No. Then let them be. Are they working out? Yeah. Are they taking care of themselves? Yeah.
Mhm.
Let people be self confident. It's just let people live their lives. If they're healthy and they're working with their doctor, let them be and respect them. Don't fat shame anybody.
Yeah.
And don't even skinny shame anybody either.
Mhm.
Because,
You don't know what people are going through.
if people are thin, they're thin, yeah. But also, don't let society that stems from the Hollywood elite be your North Star, so to speak.
Yeah.
Don't be that person that's like, I will not be worth anything unless I look like a Kardashian.
Yeah.
Because you know what? They only show us what they want to show us. We don't know what hell they're going through in their life. Honestly.
That's so true. And I was gonna backtrack just a little bit because you were saying like don't skinny shame people. I have this friend. She's very thin, but I've spent a lot of time with her and I know what she eats and she does not starve herself, so I know that it's just her body type, you know? But like when we would visit someone that she doesn't really know and she wants to make it like a good impression, she wanted to make sure that people didn't think that she was starving herself. So she would eat almost in excess so that people would know that like, hey, I'm not anorexic. Like obviously not too much food, but like if you were heavier set, it's like somebody eating a small amount of food because they don't want people to think that they overeat, but it's the opposite of that. So she was eating a lot of food, which you shouldn't have to do. Like if people just like stopped worrying about other people's bodies, then the world would be a lot better. People would
MYOB.
be a lot nicer.
Mind your own business, mind your own body.
Mind your own body.
Hmm.
I like that.
Thanks everyone for joining us. I hope
Mm.
you have a really good evening.
Well,
We appreciate being able to share our life and stories and hope you
mhm.
learned something from us as well. Just remember everything we said here, just keep it between us. Okay?
Okay. We'll see you next week.
See ya.
Thank you for listening. Bye.
Bye, friends.